Hello and welcome to next episode on SAP Analytics Cloud with me Anubhav. In the last session we discussed about the concepts of BI, what is business intelligence, how does the BI is helping us to design and develop dashboard reporting based on historical and present data on the datasets. We talked about the concepts and stages in doing the BI in the company. We also discussed the topic of what is a measure and what is a dimension, and also from the perspective of data category, from machine learning perspective, the nominal data and categorical data. We also discussed about hierarchies and account dimension concept. We discussed about our use case, starting of our use case, types of models, embedded versus public, analytic versus planning, and acquired versus live. Also, then we started with building our first story with SAP Analytics Cloud, which includes story, pages, panel, and widgets. We have by far added only three widgets on our page, and those three were point charts or numeric points on the SAP Analytics Cloud story. Now, let's proceed further as per our requirement document to be able to create more stuff in the system. So I'll switch it over back to our requirement document to begin with, and then maybe we will go ahead and discuss more details about building our story and giving it to a completion. So let me switch it over 1 second to our requirement document, just opening it up. Yeah, got it open. So let me go back. So this is our requirement document as we started with. So by far, as you see in the diagram mockup, we have added the total number of orders. We've added the total number of units, and we've also completed the number of customer meetings. So one is this done, units sold is done, and total order is done. So we have done on, two, and three things. Now it's time that we go and add number of orders sold in Asia Pacific Japan, and also the discounted amount, total discounted amount. And this discounted percentage will be entered by user. In, you can see here there is a control which I've added, range control, which where user can enter the discount percentage, and based on the discount percentage value, this discounted amount will be added over here. Yeah, so let's move on and just try to complete the top area. So I'm going to go back straight ahead to our analytics cloud. Now the report which we were creating yesterday, you can see on the home page it's also available, sales dashboard basic and Jackson. So recent stories are available always over here, so you can always see them, and it's easy to just grab them and reopen from scratch. When you open a story, it opens in the display mode. From the display mode you need to switch it over to the change mode. So I'm going to go and click on edit button to switch over my story to change mode. So now I am in the change mode. Now whenever you wanted to edit a control properties, you have to click on the control and click on this designer button, which will open something called builder panel. When you click on designer button, there are two panels which opens back to back. One is called builder panel and one is called styling panel. The builder panel helps you to edit the chart type or the control type, widget properties, measures, attributes, filters, reference lines. Every single property related to the control is what is changed in the builder panel. Then why there is another panel called styling panel? The styling panel controls the look and feel, border areas, font size, all this is controlled by the styling panel. So always you get in designer two panels, it's fixed, builder panel and styling panel. So usually depending on the control, these properties in the styling panel and the properties in the builder panel will change. Now in the builder panel, if you look at on the top, you will see here your data source. So this data source is nothing but always a model. Now this model in our case right now is a acquired data model of type analytical model with the acquired data set, and it's an embedded model. Embedded, why? Because the data is embedded within my story. It is only used by my current story. Going forward, as in when we progress, I will also show you creating another model, which is going to be a public model. A public model is available for all the multiple stories consumption. Now, just below that, you see add link model. What is a link model? Suppose you have a data distributed across two different Excel files or two different models. One model stores the product data and another model stores the forecasted data for the product or forecast sales data. So in that case, you need to do blending. So you remember I was talking about concept of wrangling transformation. So that is all about changing the data, playing with the data. But then now we have a concept of um, blending. Blending includes when you want to combine two different data sets together to make more meaningful insights. Like you remember the example of I wanted to get more new dimensions added to my data perspective, so I can do an add link model. This topic also we will cover in coming days. Then comes is the chart structure. Since this is a chart type, you see different varieties of chart. There are 6 categories of chart in SAP Analytics Cloud. As you can already see, comparison, trend always needs time dimension, distribution of the data, which always needs something called a threshold, correlation, which needs something called a grouping, indicator, which is always a single point to indicate something, and then more chart types, which includes mainly pie and donut. So these are all the different chart types. Then we always have for any chart measure and secondary value and color and filters. So you can add measures. Some of the charts will also have dimensions, but some of the chart has also a time dimension as mandatory. Time dimension, why? Look at this one, like trend line, time series. So in this case, you will have time dimension as mandatory. You cannot go with any other dimension because it's a trend. It's basically you are depicting the data over the time, so time is a mandatory dimension there. Now in this case, a simple data point, so it's just expecting you to pass a measure value. Now you can also add secondary measure value. For example, I also add unit sold, and you see the unit sold is also printed on the screen just beneath the number of customer meetings. But we don't want secondary one, we can uncheck. Yeah. Now we have threshold and filters, we're going to discuss that later. And then this is about your builder panel. Then there are certification questions on both builder panel and styling panel, which includes topics about where can you change properties of a chart. The answer is builder panel. Where can you change the cell formatting of a table? Answer is styling panel. Now you can always click on this designer button again to hide the panel. You see it is hidden, and now you are able to edit things. Again I click, it will again comes up. Yeah. So that is how you can play around with it. Now coming here on the top, you see we have a data section. So in the data section, yesterday I was showing you that we have all the data. By clicking on this grid option, you will see the entire data set over here. Yeah. So this is our entire data set. And now if you wanted to just do a data slicing and dicing, you can always use this button called data exploration. In the data exploration, you can just go and immediately visualize the data. For example, now I want to visualize my total number of order values per customer. So I can say show me dimensions, and you see these are all the dimensions I have. I maybe select all of them, and you see all my dimensions are popped up. And I will go and just select maybe customer. I just click on this customer node, and now you will see, wow, system is giving me a visualization of total sold value or order value per customer. Yeah. Now I can uncheck and I can switch it over maybe to per customer segment. So how is my customers giving me the business per segment, direct, retail, or wholesale customer? What is the segmented result? Then you can see also customer status, and you see this is customer status wise. So current customer, prior customer, prospect customer. Similarly, I can go by date. So I will get here now at single data point right now, but now you can see this button called hierarchy. If you all remember yesterday's session, we talked about time is naturally a hierarchy. So I can click over it, and now it's possible that I can drill down to the level of years, quarters, half yearly, monthly, and weekly. So you see, I click on the level 1, system shows me one data set, then I go to level 2, which is yearly. And now watch out, over last 3 years, what is the pattern of my sales? By default, since time is the dimension, system is showing you a trend line, but you can switch over the chart type here with the available options. You can see you can always go and change the chart type. For example, I want to go with the bar chart, and you see now in 2018, 19, and 20, how was my sales all about? You can also click on, let's say, 2019, and you get this nice drill down option. As I mentioned, whenever you get an hierarchy, you automatically can drill down and drill up. So since I want to drill down in 19, I can click on this, and voila, there you go. It moves me into the 2019 insight with quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4 results. And then I can further drill down to quarter 1, and then I will get my results of Jan, Feb, and March within that 2019 quarter. You can see 2019 quarter 1. Then I go into February specifically, and there I get only 26 Februaries where I have the sale made. Now, of course, if I have sale made in the February month of 2019 multiple days, I would have got those data. Now I can also go back here. You see system has already drilled down to the fifth level, which is exact date. I'll switch it over back to the quarterly, and you see it showing me now quarterly data for each quarter. So in 2018 I have data for Q2, Q3, Q4, then for entire Q4, and in 2020 right now I just have Q1, Q2 because Q3 is yet to start. Now I can also go back and change the chart type depending on distribution, let's say box plot, and this chart is not applicable. So you see, wherever the desired dimensions and measures are not suitable enough for a particular chart, the chart doesn't render. So there is nothing like magic which will happen. You have to supply the right measures and attributes depending on the chart type. As I mentioned, a trend chart would always need time. Now if you don't have the time dimension, and you cannot, it is not possible for you to project a particular trend chart. A trend is only possible when you selected the time. So if I select time series, you see you get this nice chart with the time series. Yeah, and now you also get an option like stock market price. This is how they show, right? Yearly, 6 month, 3 month, 1 year. So you can exactly see a similar kind of default chart patterns over here over a time. Now I will uncheck this, and maybe I will switch it over to another chart, maybe by location. And now you see, since I am selected time series and I have given location as my dimension, not the time, system is unable to build the time series chart because my dimension which I chosen is location. So this chart type is not applicable if you select location as your dimension. So I'll switch it over maybe to a pie chart or a donut chart, and now you will see here the data per country is what is visible to you. Now the beauty here is, once you do this data slicing and dicing, you can straight ahead copy this to our overview page. So you can say copy to my overview page, and this entire chart will be, or visualization is copied. So there's a nice way to slice and dice the data and then directly bring the results, and you can drag drop to the bottom area. Nice way to drag and drop and create these insights right after this. Yeah, so that's your data explore option. Now let's continue our requirement. So next requirement, once we got the total order value, total units sold, and total number of customer meetings, next is number of orders. So do we have number of orders in our data set? Anyone? Do you remember yesterday's data set? Do we have number of orders in our data set somewhere? Let me open the data set also for you once again so that you guys can recall that. Is there any measure which you have for number of records in our data set? This is our data set. Do you have any field which shows you number of orders? No, you don't have, right? You don't have. So what do you want to do? You want to count what? we want to count how many orders are there, correct? Everyone, are you with me? Hello, are you understanding? We wanted to count the number of order IDs, and you can see Excel tells me it is 2513. These are all the total number of orders we have. So let's go back, and we can copy this chart also. We can just control C and control V, and you see the chart got copied, and I can come back here. So it's not necessary that you always copy, it's your choice. Okay, now I go back to designer panel, and here I will remove this number of meetings. We don't want that because it was just a copied one, and you get it empty, no problem. And now I'm going to choose add a measure. Now this is not available, number of orders. This measure number of orders is not available. What to do? We are going to create a calculated measure. Calculated measure means calculation. So you can on fly create calculations in SAP Analytics Cloud. I can have a complete 40-hour course conducted only on this. Yes, it's so huge. You see these options. I can conduct a 40-hour course only on this particular feature, this particular panel. It's huge. Somebody was also asking, Anubhav, can I add new measures, new calculations depending on my need for discounts and for other stuff? Yes, you can. So you see, the first option is calculated measure, where you can write different formulas. You can use the conditional logicking like if else, looping, indexing, checking for null conversion, date conversion, time conversion. That's option one. The second option is restricted measure. Suppose I wanted to count only the total sold value for Asia Pacific Japan. I can have a restricted measure. I'm going to show you that in a moment. Then comes is difference from you wanted to calculate on fly a difference between two measures, between let's say my last quarter till this quarter, what is the change or what is the difference between the order value or customer meetings. Since last quarter, how many customer meetings were done? And I find that there is very less because due to Corona. So I will get to know that. The next option is aggregation. Very simple. You can want to do a sum, min, max, and this is what we're going to use it for our calculation to count the total number of orders. So you see there are variety of operations supported, and I'll say please count me a dimension. And now I'm going to go ahead and choose order ID, and I'll say please count how many order IDs are there. So guys, here it's not going to do a sum of order numbers, it's rather going to count the number of order IDs in the system, and I will name it as number of orders, and I can click on OK. So this is my calculated measure, an exact Excel number. 2513.00 is the number of orders. Are you guys clear how to add your own calculation on fly in SAP Analytics Cloud? It's a very powerful feature. Yeah. Now you can format it. So by default, it shows you 2 decimal points. You can come here, click on this button and choose format. You can also change the formula by clicking on edit calculation, and it opens up the same thing. And then you can switch over and change things also on the system. But I'm going to go back cancel, and I say choose a format, and I wanted to say formatting should be in the form of 1000. Okay, and you see now it shows 2.51 thousand. Can go back again, and I can say don't show me any decimal places, make it 0. And I wanted to probably show it maybe just in case percentage, I can always do that. Yeah. Now you can also choose a sign. You wanted to show something as a negative number or in a bracket, you can always do that. Then you can also have here the different formatting options to choose from. You can show something as a percentage, you can do that. Millions, billions, unformatted, a lot of these options are in there. And then say use unit of underlying measure. So what is this feature for? Suppose you are displaying an amount or a weight is in gram, kilogram, or you're displaying an amount in a currency. Now in India, when we write 3000, we write 3,000.00. This is Indian format, USA format. But in some European countries or Russia, when you wanted to write something, you write 5 dot, or 3000 you'll write 3.000, comma 00. right? So these are two different currency formats. So when you check, that checkbox system is going to auto format your currency depending on the its unit. Now the question comes, where do you give the unit? So you can see the unit column here. You can directly give the units here. Yeah, so that's about your formatting options. There are a lot of them. I can just click OK, and now you see it, the dot 00 is gone. Yeah, so 2513.00 is gone. Nice. So this is how you count the number of orders. And just minimize this. Now suppose these numbers are looking pretty small as compared to the text. I wanted to increase all these number sizes, only the number size, and I wanted to hide this unit sold number of because this, I'm already showing them as a title. So I wanted to hide this extra bottom thing. So let me just go back, show you. So you can come here to show hide option and say please hide my label for the primary value, and you see that is gone, and number naturally increased to a little bigger one. It's taking better space, so I'll just go back and do that, and you see looks much better and much cleaner. Good. So that's how I have got my number of orders. Let's go to the next requirement. So next requirement, we need units sold in Asia Pacific Japan alone. No problem. We're gonna go back. So now how many units were sold in APJ? So first get units sold total. I'm gonna copy that, grab and copy and paste. You can also start from scratch. Let me delete this. You can click on go and add a chart. A chart gets added. I'm gonna switch it over to a numeric point, and I'm gonna add the unit as number of orders. Unit sold. Is it unit sold? Yes, unit sold. But important here is this unit sold should only be for Asia Pacific Japan. So showcasing you the next option, I'm going to delete unit sold, go back, add to measure and add a calculation. And this time we're going to add a restricted measure. Okay. Now I'll say unit sold APJ. Yeah. And now I will come back to the measure and I'll say unit sold, but it's going to be depending on my country or city. Yeah. Now my location, depending on my location, tell me the unit sold, and I can choose the values, select by member, and now you see all your countries are visible over here. So I'm going to select countries which are specific to APJ. Let's say Japan, India, Singapore, Taiwan, Sri Lanka. All these countries I've selected, all the ones which are important in Asia Pacific Japan. Click on OK, and I can click on OK again, and you see only the unit sold in APJ is visible to you. 14,422 out of total units sold 4,58,749. 14,422 were the sold units in Asia Pacific Japan. Unfortunately, in this data set, I don't have the region. If I would have had a region column, it would have been more easier, because right now I have to manually select the countries. But going forward, in case if you have proper data set which is provided, so you can always request. So you are Ann Jackson and can always request Steve to provide the right data set to do this. So this is the duty of the business, to provide the right data set, not your duty, because you don't know the source of the data where it is. Steve would know it better because he's the operations head of sales. Okay, so Steve would know where is the data. Is it in form of Excel database table, where it is and how it is. So Steve will supposed to provide you that. Okay, now coming back, I'm going to go back and also reduce the size. The advantage of copying the control was, then again you got this unit sold below, you have to hide it again. If you would have copied it, then would have been much easier. Yeah, that's your unit sold. Now next, what next? So also just reduce these size a little, so we can bring them pretty closer. Yeah, okay. Now Next requirement is discounted amount. What will be my total sold amount after a certain discount? Yeah, after if I do, let's say 5% discount on entire company products, all products 5% discount, what will be my total order value after that discount? And that discount user should be able to choose it on your dashboard. You can keep the default value as 5, and you can increase it by up to 50% discount, customized, and each tick size will be 1% at a time user can increase. Okay, the minimum unit of discount which user can increase is 1%. So how do we do that discounted amount? Once again, we're going to add a calculation. So I'm going to copy this chart one more time, and I'm going to go to designer panel, and now I'm going to just remove this sold, and I'm going to say add new measure. Once again, guys, create calculation. So I'm showing the third option called calculated measure. And now in this edit formula option, do control space, 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 control space to see the options available. And you see there are variety of functions and formulas and options available, along with all my measures which I've calculated, as well as all the measures. So 3 measures coming from main data source, 2 measures I've calculated, which means I can also do formulas on top of measures which I have calculated myself. Yeah. Now what I'm going to do is I will just go back, and I can choose anything, and you see on the right side it's showcasing you an example of that particular formula, how to use it. So you don't have to rush behind anybody to learn these things, So you see, what is the example of that formula? Right there itself, you are seeing an example of how to use a formula, how to work with it. You see, if condition example, else condition example. Yeah, see, humongous. You can design a lot of things here depending on your needs. Somebody also asked me that, like, yesterday I got a call from one of you, and they were also asking, not one of you, one of my old student, and he was working on SSE, and he said, can I also do like BW like formulas, or like planning functions in SAP Analytics Cloud? So planning functions are standard functions, industry standard functions used in planning. You can, you can you can come here and you can build formulas to give a shape to those planning functions, because industry standard is fixed to calculate gross amount, gross net margin, yeah, percentage of, let's say, gross margin. These are formulas, you can build it here in this formula builder. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a discount. So I will say my control total, sorry, my order value. And you see, the moment I type order, it also shows me the code completion. So I choose order value. So you see the format is your model name colon your measure name in a bracket with the color. Now multiplied by 100 minus discount, divide by 100. But hey, hold on. Did anywhere we give a discount variable? How am I able to use a variable? Is there anywhere I have used any discount measure or variable? Anyone? Is there any way where I used any discount? Nowhere. I'm not defined, correct? So we need to define this discount variable. How do we do that? We can just come back, remove this discount from here, and just say here, create a new input control. Input control allows user to input data. There are two types of input controls you can create. One is a range and one is a value. So go by new input control, and I can name it as discount, and I can say whether it is an existing dimension or you can create it based on a dimension and input control, or you can create based on a static list. Yeah. Now in this I will say values, and I can say select by range, and I say I am allowing a discount value minimum 5% or minimum 0% up to 50%. and allow an increment of 1 by 1. 1% is the minimum tick price discount can be increased. So this is a range input control I've created. Click on OK. It is going to be named as discount. Click on OK. And now I'm going to come back and do control space. Just come down. You will see your range input variable discount will be visible with add the rate of discount. Add the rate of discount. Yeah, add the rate of discount. Now don't confuse, this is not a scripting capability. This capability is called formula capability. Don't think that this is scripting capability. Some people have misconception. They will think that it is scripting capability. Scripting capability, like you are writing looping, for loop, do loop, variable var, all that JavaScript scripting capability is actually not available in the story building, in the BI feature. We have another amazing feature which we're going to learn at the end, our last phase of the course, which will be analytical application builder. There we have scripting capability. There I'll show you writing some coding also. Of course, if you are a non-technical, non-coding guy, maybe some of that part will be little tricky for you, but at least this part is easier for anyone. Now let's give a name, and I'm gonna say discounted amount or discounted order value, total discounted order value. And voila, you see currently, let's see what is the value coming. This value is exact match, and maybe I'm going to also just do a little bit of formatting out there, go in there and just show it like zero decimal, and maybe show it like millions, 16 million. Okay, maybe I just switch it back to the exact value, uh, and just go to unformatted, click on OK. Yeah, so now you see we have our discount value, which is same as, so this value, discount value, is same as your order value, correct? Why guys? Anyone? Why is this discounted value is same as order value? Why? Because I didn't give any discount yet. Default value is 0. And if you observe carefully, you have got a nice discount input control next to it, automatically created by system. Yeah, automatically created by system. Let's use this. I'm going to go back, switch over, and grab this guy on the right side and increase the size. You get a beautiful slider control which shows you a range value between 0 to 50%. And now watch out, my friends. The moment I increase this discount value, you watch out this value. I'll make it full 50%. So let's do calculation. 151593720 divide by 2. 50% discount should become 7579680. 6860. This is the value it should become. Let me increase full 50%, and now you see 7796. Okay, how it is calculating, I think I've used initial value is incorrect. So 7796860 become your discounted value. It becomes almost 50% off. Yeah, complete 50% off it did, and it has got this exact value after discount. And you see, you keep downing it and the value keeps changing. So less the discount, high the order value will be. You see, it went into millions now. You see, it's changing my input. Based on my input is changing. You can also come and change the value. Let's say 25%, enter, and you see it change the value. Are you guys clear how to add a new control and discount is getting applied? Clear everybody? With 25%, what's the discount? Superb. There are two questions here. Don't you create calculation dimension for region? No, I did not created that. That was also not there in our data set. So in coming example, I will also show you creating a dimension for the region as well. Allow me some time. we will go to planning model, and I'm going to also show you some region data set also I'll show you, Raju. Okay, so please allow me some time. In planning model, I'll show you one example with the region data with hierarchies. Okay, so right now I'm going super slow with easy things so that you get used to SAP Analytics Cloud. Otherwise, if I right away start with heavy dose of antibiotic, you will not be able to understand things. Okay, currency format happen automatic based on currency code. Yes, it will happen if you give a currency code there. It will automatically do the currency formatting depending on the unit format you provided. Unit could be gram, milligram, barrels, kilogram, or euros, US dollars, anything. That's a unit ultimately. Now, so that was about discount control. Can I do something more? Can I add a kind of a time dimension to filter data only in 2019? Yes, we can do that. So let's come back and use watch this option called input control option, and you select this panel. I want to add my input control in this panel. Click on this button, input control, and now you got an input control over here. Now if you observe, this is actually called page filter. Okay, it's called page filter. So we have two types of input controls in SAP Analytics Cloud. Good interview question and certification question. Types of filters and level you can apply. So we have three ways by which we can filter data. We can filter data at entire story level. We can filter data at page level, and we can filter data at widget level. Yeah. This is a certification, ditto certification question. At what level can you filter the data? Story level, page level, and widget level. What is story level? Remember yesterday's session? Story has multiple pages. So if you create a story filter, it's called story filter. So if you create a story filter, all the pages on that entire story will be impacted by the filter. If you create a page filter, which is what we did right now, only the widgets on the same page can be impacted by that, which is again you can choose. And if you create a widget filter, only that widget will change according to that. So one question to all of you quickly, if you understood this concept, what do you think this slider is? Which type of filter? Is it a story filter, page filter, or widget filter? Anyone? Any guesses? It's a widget filter. Very good, Raju, you've got the right answer. All of you are right. It's a widget filter. Why? Because when I change the value, it's not affecting all things on my page. It's only affecting this widget, this single widget it is affecting. Are you clear, everyone? It's a widget filter because it's changing only one widget. Clear, everyone? Why it's widget filter? Vishal, are you clear now, Vishal? It's changing only that single control. That's why it's a widget filter. Okay, now see the page filter. Can you see page filter? Which means it's gonna affect only my this page. So tomorrow I can also add a new page. Let me add a new page. I'm gonna add a new canvas, and this is another page I have got. So I'm gonna say rename, and I'll say advanced. Now if I add a chart or a point here, so I'll add a data. I'm gonna add my model, and I'm going to add my embedded data model. You see this model name is data embedded in this story. It's showing my sales data model as embedded model, and I'm just going to add here maybe order value by direct customer segment, by different customer segment, and I'm going to copy this to my advanced page. So I'm going to go back to story, and I've got now a chart here. Now if I change something here in this filter, do you think it's going to affect my second page? Do you think it's going to change here? If I change something in this filter, do you think it is going to affect my second page? No. Why? Because it's a page filter. Now bonus points. Can you convert a page filter to story filter and vice versa? Certification question again, interview question, certification question. Is it possible to convert a story filter to page and page to story? Yes. Yes, it's possible. Funda Fox of today's class, guys. Funda Fox. It is possible to convert a story filter to page filter and vice versa. Currently, I've got a page filter. I can go back and I have a possibility to change this to a story filter, or maybe I can just go back and show you adding a story filter. So there is an option called story filter. You click on this and you see you've got a story filter. Now this story filter, you can come here and you can change to a, you can drag this and drop. No, drag drop not working. Let me go to the advanced filtering option and we should be able to somehow convert this. Right click. No. So let me just check. So there's a possibility to convert a story filter to page filter. Previous, current, current, next, 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 previous, current. I need to check that option, but it's possible to decouple a filter and then create it only as a story filter. So let me just go into controls option or designer panel. It's not showing any option here, but it's possible actually to convert a story filter to a page filter. Okay, maybe I'm gonna check that up and show you in the next class. Right now I'm not able to find an option here. Usually there has to be an option to delete and work with it. Why am I not able to see those options? So I'm gonna change data source. You can change dimensions. Let me add a filter first of all. So I'm gonna add maybe a filter called on dimension, and I'm gonna add it on the time, on the date. Okay, and now you see here I can choose. So I can go by member or I can go by range. So let me go by member, and I will allow anyone who use this filter to choose any of the year. So I'll say all members and say okay. And now you see I've got a story filter, which means now, for now let's ignore the page filter, work with story. So which means now right now is showing all years data. Watch out, watch out this advanced filter also. So advanced value is 4769629. I'm gonna save it in a notepad for now. So we're gonna take a 4769629 3308084 7516 007. This is the values, and if I come back on the overview, you see these values on the top. Yeah, everything you see on the page. Now I'm gonna go back, grab this date filter, and I will say show me data only to 2019. Uncheck everything, or maybe 2020, and that's it. Boom, you can see all these values got updated automatically. Now you got 511 orders only in 2020 by far. And now if you go back to advance, you also see these values have also changed. So in 2020 you only got direct sales from direct customers as 1067829 as compared to 4769629 total sales. This is the sales only in 2020. Everyone, are you clear the concept of story filter? Something which changes everything on the entire page. Sorry, all the pages on the story. So story filter is for the entire story. Okay, why discounted value is also changing? Everything will change. It is a story filter. It will affect all pages, all stories, entire story and all the pages. It will change. So it's applying a discount which is 28% on orders which are in 2020. Okay, that's why even the discount is changing, because it's applying now a discount on this order value 3097024. On this value it is applying a discount of 28%. That's why this is also changing. Now can I convert this to a page filter? So one way is to add page filter directly. I remove this for now. Can I convert this to a page filter? Yes, click on it and you see convert to page filter. Are you guys clear? Hello everyone, do you clear how to convert a story filter to page filter? It's possible. Click on this, don't show this message again, say okay, and now you see we will get a page filter created over here. You can grab and drop it here. Expand it and you see your data. Everyone, are you clear how to convert a story filter to page filter? You can delete a story filter also. We should be able to do that. I'm not sure how to. It's not showing an option. I just click again. Yeah, it went off. Yes. Yeah. So now you see this is a page filter. So if I change something, do you think it's going to impact my advanced one? So you see advanced one is back to its normal. See 4769, 4769. Yeah. So now this is my story. This is my page filter. It's only applying changes on this page. So if I select 2019, everything on this page will change. So in this entire page, every single control is changing based on the selection. Give me all year sales. Give me only 2019 sales. And you see everything is changing on the same screen. Yeah. So now suppose I don't want this page filter to impact my pie chart, or I don't want it to impact my total order value, total units sold, total customer meetings till today. These three things, in fact, these five things I don't want to impact at all. All these five things I don't want to get impacted. I want to only create another number of orders, and I want to only impact this number of orders only with this date filter and maybe all the charts. So I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all six of them to be isolated from this filter. Click on the filter, click on the button and choose called linked analysis. Okay, choose that. And now see this filter, when it is applied, only it should affect my selected widgets. Okay, I will also check, please apply this filter on newly created widgets in future, but please only apply it on number of orders and my pie chart. That's all. Are you clear how a page filter can be configured to give an impact only to certain widgets on the screen? Okay, clear everyone? Can you control filter at panel level? Yes, we can control filter at panel level. That's what we are doing right now. At panel level, we are controlling. Okay, within the panel, no. Within the panel, you can't. You already have granularity here at the control level. Why do you need to control it at panel level? Okay, you don't need to, because you have such a good granularity. So any future control which I'm going to create, please apply this filter. Okay, but don't include these top nodes except the last, which is number of orders. Okay, now I'm gonna say apply, and you see I am back to my order value state. Everything is big number, but you see total number of orders are 2513, but number of orders in 2019 is 1278. You see one filter, it's showing one filter also here, that there is one filter applied here, but this looks dirty. This filter looks dirty. Rather, we should here change number of orders, and dynamically we should get value of year which is selected. Right, guys, are you understanding from the end user point of view what makes more sense? We don't want to see this one filter thing. First of all, let's hide it. So come show hide, and I'll say please hide my, there is an option to hide, so it's not showing here. I think we can just say chart title, and we can say chart. Yeah, here you see this option. I uncheck this filter and it will hide that filter thing. So you see one filter thing is hidden. Now here I want to show the year which I selected, 2019. I want to show 2019 here. Or if I select 2020, yeah, I want to also show 2020 here. So how do we do that? That's called dynamic text. Right click here again, go to and say add, and no, let me just check. We have an option to add a dynamic text actually. I'm gonna just go back, go to designer panel, Go to builder panel. Okay, I got it. We don't have to go anywhere. Double click on this number of orders, double click, and I'll say space, click on this option, and we will say add a dynamic. Okay, it's not showing here. Ideally it should show. I'm not sure where the option is gone. So we have an option to add a dynamic text with which, so you see you have got a text here. Click on the text and you got a text, and let me just choose here an option called add dynamic text. In this dynamic text, now I'm going to add my page filter. So add a dynamic text, and please show me my page filter. Input control, it's basically an input control, date input control. Click on create, and now you see it's showing 2019 and 2020. Okay, it's showing 2019 and 2020. If I choose just 2020, it automatically changed to 2020. If I choose 2019, again it adds 19 and 20. If I choose 18, you see it shows all. If I just choose 2018, it only shows 2018. So this text I'm gonna grab, drag, and drop it on top of my this value here. Why it's not dragging, dropping it? Yeah, you can add it here. So I can now see the number of orders in only 2018. Everyone clear how to add a dynamic text? Everyone? So now you see the number of orders in 1890, but this number looks very small. You go back, edit, go to your designer panel, and we want to increase this number width. So go to designer panel, and now here I can choose my primary value. Please increase the font size to 48 or maybe 24. Yeah, looks much better. And please reduce my chart title size to 10. Yeah. So that's how you can work with this data set. Everybody, are you clear the concept of page filter, story filter, custom input control, concept of um, applying the change relevant for a page filter to a story filter, to a control in widgets, how your control in widgets can change depending on it. Now, suppose I have 20-year data. I don't want user to ever select 2018. I don't even want to give this 2018 option within my filter. Okay, I don't want to give this 2018 option within my filter. I can come back here and I can now edit my input control, and I'll say don't allow user to ever select 2018, only allow user to select 2019 and 2020 within the filter. So it's a filter on filter. User will never be able to select 2018 from the filter. User can only select 19 and 20 within the filter. Click on OK, and now you see your filter control itself has changed to 2019 and 2020. 18 itself is not visible to the user. Yeah. Now I uncheck and you see 2020. It's going to affect all my charts. It's going to affect all my only my topmost this one number of orders. Rest all the top things are not affected because we have clearly told in the linked analysis, please don't impact any of my above units. Please impact all the newly added controls in the future and also these two controls which are existing. That's the rule we have applied on this. Clear, everyone? Yeah. I'm going to delete this chart. This doesn't look really more sense. I'm going to just remove. And now we have this set. So let's save the state as of now. So now at this point, we'll take a break for 5 minutes. Once right after the break, we will start with the charting. So what we did till now in the dashboard, if you see, we added total order, units sold, number of orders, units sold in Asia Pacific, discounted amount, number of customer meetings, and we added a discount percentage input control, custom input control, and we added a page filter. We have added a page filter. This page filter allows you to choose values between 2019 and 2020. This page filter is affecting only my number of orders within that year, and it's going to affect all my charts in coming time. All my maps, charts, everything is going to affect in coming time. Okay, so next phase we will develop these four controls, and then we will also develop these more filters depending on our need. Let's take a quick break for 5 minutes, and right after the break, on the other side, we'll start building the requirement correctly. Okay, for details, whatever I showed you here today's class, every single thing is well depicted below. You see, every single thing I've written here in proper format for you, so that you will never have a problem going forward. You see, with screenshots I've written here, articulated it correctly, the requirement. That's more important to get that developed correct. Yeah, and final outcome should look like this. So I'll take a quick break. Once on the other side of the break, we're going to start building more things on the system. We'll be back in 5 minutes. All right, guys, welcome back after the break. So let's go ahead and now try to create. So our topmost thing is almost done. Just have to add additionally one more logo. So I'm going to go back and add a logo out here. So let's quickly click on the plus option, and you have an option to add an image. Now there's an interview question which also comes is, what is that widgets which are supported by or not supported by mobile phone? So in mobile, some of the widgets are not supported, like which includes clock, it's not supported, and shapes are supported. Shapes, maps are supported. Tables have a limited support in mobile phones. So whenever you are working a story which you feel later point of time going to be consumed by user in a mobile phone, make sure that you can add shapes, data points, and charts. But table controls are something which is table controls, and these clock control, these controls are something which are not supported in mobile device. Okay, now coming back, let's add a image, and you see got an image, and I'm going to add an image by uploading an image from my computer. So I'm going to click on upload image, and I'm just going to go back to my image. So this image also I'm going to give it to you guys. So I have got a couple of images on my computer, and I'm going to upload this image here, which is let's say this one here. So, or I can add this one, Anubhav trainings. So I can say Anubhav logo. I'm going to also upload this logo. You guys can try. Double click, and you will see the image logo will appear over here. I select this, and you see it appears. Anubhav trainings logo. Can just squeeze a little and just move it on the top. And just these things we got to adjust actually by moving them ahead. So we're gonna close the designer panel, and I'm gonna select everything, move a little bit on the right side, just add more space. It's not increasing my panel size. We can reduce this size. Can try and put that on there. Yeah, now it works. So just little bit of sizing we have to do with the controls, and now we are good to go. Good. So that's got our logo now. We've got an image logo over here, and that's how you can see our data looks like. Nice. Now, let's move on to the next part. What we are going to do now, we'll start the major section, which is first is this bar chart, which is showing the total order values based on measure, or maybe in this case, it's the product category which they have added. And then we have to also add here the discounted amount together. So we already calculated discounted amount measure at runtime, and that is also available for you to be added in the chart out of the box. Now you can start adding that. So I'm going to come back to this main panel, and we can click on just grab a chart. By default, it's going to add a chart of type bar chart by default, and we can just go ahead and add it as a measure. And I'm going to add the order value and also the my calculated discounted order value. So you see both my discounted order value and order value is visible here. So this is the total order value and this is the discounted one. As in when you increase the discount, you see the value will change in the chart itself because the filter is applied there. Yeah, you see the moment more discount is given, your chart is changing. So you see once I say 50%, you see almost it's half. You can see this chart and this chart is almost half of this chart. So that's why it's 50% discount. Yeah, now you can see there's a filter here. You can also change the label. So I can double click here and I can say I can keep this one, this looks okay, and I can just hide this filter thing, go inside, show hide chart details, this just hide the filter. Don't want the filter to be visible. So by default, the new widget which is created is coming under this filter automatically. So I just select 2019 and you will see my chart value is also changing. Yeah. So now next, what else? We have added a chart. Next, what I wanted to show you that suppose you wanted to yourself control what measures to show. You don't want to fix it. You want user to choose what measures to show, whether discounted order value or order value, what to show here. You can just drive out a measure input control. So click here, add, click here, and there's an option to add a measure input control. It's not coming here. Maybe we have to go to the designer panel. And now you see here in the measures, what I've added is two measures. I'm going to remove them and I'm going to add a measure input control. So come down, create measure input control, and now I'll say everything and I say okay. And watch out now, I have got a measure input control here. I'm going to drag it on my filter area. All my filters, I am grouping them together on the left side panel. Yeah, making it easy for me. So I'm just going to also reduce this down and I'm going to expand this down. So now you see all my measures are visible here on this area. Yeah. So watch out the magic. So now you can dynamically select any measure. See units, and it will change only units. You see units sold total. You see it's changing units sold total. Number of customer meetings. It's changing my chart based on that particular measure which I select dynamically. User can choose. Now suppose I don't want to allow certain values. I can edit this input control and I can say don't allow discounted things to be selected. Only these things user can select. Uh, Discount, number of meetings, order value, and units sold. Only three measures user can choose from, and these three measures are visible now here. Awesome. And then together with that, I want to fix the discounted value here. So in that case, you have this measure input control, which is good. Together with that, you can go back and add another measure, which is fixed measure. Always add a discounted order value as a measure. Now I can also change the name of this in new measure input control. We can just change its name and I can say filter by measure or dynamic filter by measure. So now you choose order value and you see total order value and discounted value. So it's dynamically changing the number of customer meeting and discounted order value. Order value and discounted order. So this measure is fixed, but other measure is changing. Yeah. Now I wanted to also add a dimension to my chart. So let's come back. I wanted to see this data distribution based on a dimension, based on, let's say, product. Tell me how's the distribution of each product sold amount and discounted amount. So now see, product wise it is telling me what is the sold amount and discounted amount for each product. Yeah, that's my new measure which I've that's my new dimension which I've added. Now similar to what I did for measure, I want to do for dimension. I want my dimensions also to be dynamically selected by user. User can choose what dimensions to display on the screen. User should decide. So I can come back here and I can, okay, sorry, I can come back here and I can say add a dimension. I remove the product. I add a new dimension and I'm going to add a new dimension input control. And I say user can choose customer, customer segment, customer status, product, product type, and sales agent. Say, say okay. And now you're going to get a new dimension input control on this side. Just drag and drop it on the filter panel, which we are constructing properly. So I'm just going to reduce the zoom size to make it easy. And I'm going to grab that over here. So you will see your dimension input control here. I'm going to grab that, drag and drop it on the left side in my panel area over here. Nice. Reduce the size of the panel a little. Yeah, nice. So now watch out. The moment I am choosing sales agent, it's automatically changing everything to sales agent. It's showing total order value and discounted value per sales agent. Yeah, come down. I choose product. Watch out. My dimensions are now dynamically changing. My measures are fixed. My values are fixed. They are always showing total sold value versus discounted value. But my dimensions are changing. Customer status, customer segment. So direct, retail, wholesale. Are you guys clear how to add dynamic measure input control and dynamic dimension input control? Is this clear, everyone? Yeah. So dynamically it's changing by customer. Show me by customer. So you see this is by customer. So that's how you can change each of these things manually or dynamically. Allow user to choose things dynamically on your charts. Awesome. Now, next, what I wanted to add is I wanted to add a geo map. Now, guys, remember to add a geo map, it is mandatory to have your geo enrichment done. Basically, you have one column in your dataset which shows both latitude and longitude together. Okay. Now, for United States, SAP Analytics Cloud already understand the latitude longitude, but for any other non-US country, you have to enrich your dataset mandatorily with latitude and longitude. This is a certification question also. Now, let me add a geo map. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to add a geo map. And now we got a geo map. You can see we have got a geo map. It's a complete Google map. It's not Google map, it's a geo map. So now I can choose different types of maps. I can go street view. I can go night view. I can go dark gray. I can go with the transparent one, light gray, street view, satellite view, hybrid view. So there are different options to choose from. Yeah. So we'll go transparent dark gray. I love this one. This is good. So we go to the transparent gray one. This is just a map type to choose. So once the map type is selected, now you can start projecting your data points. To project data points on the map, we have to choose add layer. There are 5 types of layers which it supports. Let me just quickly go back. So you see here add layer. Okay, just give me okay. Anyway, we can go inside the layer and show you. So we have 5 types of layer, 6 types of layer actually. Bubble layer, point of interest, heat map, chloropath, feature layer, and flow layer. I'm going to show all of it as and when we progress in the course. Right now I'll go with bubble layer. Bubble layer allows me to show small bubbles as my data points. So I will say, please show my location. So location dimension we already enriched yesterday. We created a new location column, which has both latitude and longitude together. So that is what I'm going to choose. And it's going to add my bubble. So application, wherever my application has some sales done in a particular country or in a location, it's just highlighting all those data points. Okay, it's just highlighting all those data points. If your latitude and longitude has issues, the data points will not come properly, like what is happening I guess right now. For some of the cases, data points are not properly coming. At least for US, it's coming. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, so if your data points are, if your data is corrupted, of course your data point won't properly render on the screen. For now everything is good, our data is good, so it's showing things very much properly on the system. Now what else you can do? So one thing is, there is some sale done at each data point. So there is some sale at Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Pakistan, India. You have Bermuda. You see even Bermuda Triangle. You have some sales done. So some sales is being done at different areas. But now if you see the bubble color, I'm going to click on bubble color and I'm going to say change my bubble color depending on higher the higher the units which are sold, make the bubble color different. So it is going to distribute your bubble color, different colors of bubble, depending on the order value. So which country has given me highest order value, that bubble color will be darker. The country which has given me low order value, that bubble color will be lighter. Click on it and watch out. Now you see bubble colors will change. You see you got blues and reds. So companies which is giving me heavy volume are coming in red color. Companies which are giving me relatively low and relatively very low volumes, the color is coming as blue. So you see all these are blue. All these are little blue. Why? Because sales is coming very low. Order volume is very low in those countries. US is coming red. Why? Because order volume is too high in US. It's about 202814 order volume in US, and if I just select it India, you see it's 30390. So Australia, China and US is giving me high order volume, and then relatively low in these ones. And you see here some of them are also in very different color altogether. Some are moderate color, some are darker red. So this is how you can check the coloring. Now I can also control bubble size. I'll say wherever I had more customer meetings, please increase the bubble size accordingly. So wherever you had large number of customer meeting, that bubble will be bigger. Wherever you had less customer meeting, bubble will be smaller. So bubble size I'm controlling based on meetings. Bubble color I'm controlling based on order value. Size I'm controlling based on meetings. So you see, since US is having maximum number of meetings, 368 customer meetings, the bubble size is bigger. And you see all the bigger and smaller bubble size. So it's natural, where you have more customer meeting, customer will give you more business. So there you see the bubble size is also bigger, and also bubble color is also darker. Yeah, now you see here this country, here you had UK, you had so many customer meeting 282, but sales is not that high. Not that high, but yeah, it's good, but sales is not that high. In Australia you had also lot many meetings, but relatively the sales is low. So you see, smaller the bubble, naturally the color is also different, because less number of customer meeting, less amount of sales. That's usually we consider in business. Right now you see Pakistan, we had so many meetings, but still not able to convert that to sales. So that kind of insight you get with the bubble color. Now there's a lot of settings you can change. So especially for this coloring, you can change the color palettes. So I can always go and change color palettes. So you see I've changed my color palettes. So you see different color palettes to choose from. You can change opacity, the transparency of these bubbles. You see opacity, you can change. Yeah. Now you can also group them. So since there are too many data points, it's difficult to understand. You can also come and say group maybe up to only 3 to 4 bubble colors. Yeah. So if there are too many colorings, then you may get confused. So you wanted to segregate or group these colors. Maybe I want only 4 colors max. So red, yellow, green, and blue. Now you see only 4 colors. It has categorized all your data sets. Yeah, it's easy for you to go. Now I go back again inside. Same thing you can do for the bubble size. So you can always go and reduce the size of the bubble. So you see now it's at least better on the map. It's fitting. You can also go back and just do the scaling adjustment percentage, and you see it's also doing the scaling adjustment for the bubbles. Yeah. Now we can also come back here. We can rename these things. A lot of these settings are there. Now cluster property, very important. Suppose there are too many bubbles. You see every data point is depicted, but we don't want that. We wanted to maybe create one bubble per region. So you can come here and increase and decrease the display points. So I decrease these display points to only maybe show me only around 671 points. So now it's going to cluster and group them together. So within a region, it's going to, now if I just reduce it to maybe let's say 10 points, watch out. So you see, this bubble is covering 57 data points in this entire region. This bubble is covering 33 data points. This is covering 22 bubbles together and single bubble is created. So like this, the number of groupings can also be reduced, which helps you to improve the readability of the chart. If there are too many data points, may be difficult sometime for user to read that. Now you can also see cluster properties. You can change the opacity of cluster properties. That is when you do less clustering, you can change the coloring also. So all these settings are available at a layer level. So the layer name also I can change. I can say size by meeting and color by value. So this is one layer. Now another layer you can also add my favorite chloropath layer. I'll show you chloropath or drill layer. And now I can also go back, add a dimension of course as location, and I can say add, show me which country has given me maximum order volume, and based on that your country thing will change its color. Your entire country will change its color. So based on order value, and now you see how it distributes the data. Maybe for time being I'm going to hide this bubble layer. You see this I button, you click on this, bubbles are hidden, and now you see your map. It is showing which country has given you better sales. Yeah, clear everyone? How chloropath layer it is distributing the color percentages depending on the country. Chloropath layer, this is a certification question. How does chloropath layer displays the data? So it distributes the color across the data points on the chart. It's a chloropath layer. So in one map you can add hundreds of different layers together. Yeah, hundreds of different layers together. Like in this case we have added chloropath layer. Order value, we've added two. So I can also hide any layer and I can also display any layer. So it makes it easy for me to hide and show any layer depending on my need. Okay, so I can always do that. Now let me just come back and show you an interesting thing here. Now what you did here between this measure and chart, yeah, same thing you can do between map and chart. Watch out guys, watch out, what an amazing capability SAP Analytics Cloud offers us. So maybe just reduce the map size equal to this chart. which is not mandatory, but I'm just giving it a good look and feel. And I'm gonna just save my story first before, just in case anything goes away. And now, watch out. I want to select only one product. I want to see how this particular product sale is doing in different countries. So come back to the chart, add a linked analysis for this guy, add a linked analysis, and now say all widgets on this page. What I want, whenever I select a data point in this chart, filter on data point selection. Whenever I select a data point on this chart, on this chart, it should filter all my other controls. Apply. Watch out, guys. So now currently your geo map is showing all the products, all the sales, all the total volumes and meetings for all products in all countries in 2020, because 2020 is what is the story filter we applied. Now for this particular 950 bike, if I click this data point, watch out my chart. Wherever I have sales only for this bike, those country bubbles will only appear. Rest all country bubbles will disappear. Click and you see that's all. Only these countries have sales of NC950 bike in these countries. Depending on, now can anybody tell me which country is this C950 bike sold the most, depending on the bubble color? Which country C950 bike sold the most? Can anyone guess? With one click, UK. Correct answer, because red was the highest sales. Yeah. UK, if you see, the number of customer meetings are higher and the sales is also higher. And you see US, it is 270 something, 279 10 910, and here you see it's higher. Yeah, 82 something. So of course it's higher, so color is red and meetings are also high for this bike. I uncheck, I select, let's say, M525 bike. So it's only sold in these countries. Can you imagine the power of SAP Analytics Cloud? So this bike is selling the most in Brazil. So I know which product is doing good in which country. That kind of insights you can get with SAP Analytics Cloud, which was earlier not possible for the Steve to take a thought. So now Steve knows which product is getting sold better in which country. Now, can I do reverse? See, in India, there is no sales of this bike. This bike is not at all popular in India. There is zero sale. Can I do reverse? Reverse means if I select a country, can I get to know what is the distribution of products and sales in that particular country? Yes. What option do you think you have to choose? What option do you think you have to activate for your chart or geomap? Linked analysis. Exactly. Go back again. Select this geomap. Click on this button and choose linked analysis. And now say, show me this one all on this page on data point selection. Please change all the widgets on this page. Okay, you can again do a selected widget option to only change selected widgets, but I'm going to do all based on data point selection. In fact, on the top, these top one will also change. Watch out, apply, and now watch out. I just select India. It will give me total order value in India, total products which are, so watch out this left side bikes. I click India and you see everything changed. You see only these two bikes R300 and E148 is getting sold in India. No other bikes Indian likes. Which bikes are popular in USA? I'm going to select USA. So now you see these are all the different bikes which I'm selling in USA. Awesome. Yeah. Which bikes are popular maybe in Singapore? Singapore. Yeah. I click Singapore and you see only two bikes are popular in Singapore. And this is the sales And if I give 50% discount, this is my forecasted sales. This is going to be my sales order value. In case if I give 50% discount, suppose I reduce the discount to 5%, 4%, 5%, then my total sales is going to be this much in Singapore for per product. And maybe I want to see per sales agent in the Singapore. So you will see here sales agent, what is going to be the sale per sales agent in the Singapore. You can get that. Okay. Since we have selected a data point in the chart, it's not doing, but let me just select now sales agent is selected. And now I select my Singapore data agent on top filter. And now you see this is the only sales agent operating in Singapore who has done me all the sales. Everyone, are you clear? Is this clear to everyone? How linked analysis is working back and forth, giving you the data sets? Yeah, these are all the 3 customers I have in Singapore. So like this, you can do a lot of magical things on SAP Analytics Cloud without any coding expertise. If you do this in S4 HANA, what do you have to do? Those who have attended my S4 HANA BAP HANA course, if you want to achieve similar things, what you have to do? You have to build CDS views. You have to do coding in CDS view. You have to add annotations in CDS view. You have to create OData services. You have to create web ID project. Too much technical, right? Too much technical. But here, without any scripting knowledge, technical knowledge, development skill, programming skill, you are able to do it nicely. What do you think? What customers of SAP will choose? Of course, they will choose SAP Analytics Cloud over S4 HANA embedded analytics option. Yeah, of course. Okay, so let's save this till here. Keep saving your progress because it's running on the browser anytime in case your browser crashes or internet goes away or any internet flicker happens, your changes may get destroyed. So keep saving after you add every widget. Okay, nice. Now let's come back. Let's see the next one. What is next? So we're going to add a table over here. So this is the table we want with the total order ID. Okay, I'm going to come down. I'm going to just say add me a table, please. It's here. And I'm going to show in this table measures depending on my measure input control. I'll link it with measure input control, which we created. So new dimension input control, I'm going to link it. And I'm also going to link my columns with the measure input control. So where is my measure input control? Sorry. I have to say my rows as dimension input control and my columns as my measure input control. Yeah, measures. No, where is my measure input control gone? Oh, sorry. Let's add our columns as our dimension input control. No, no. Okay. Add our rows as dimension input control, which we created. And what name we have given to this? Dynamic filter by me. Let's search. Why it's not showing my control here? It's not showing my dynamic input control. Ideally, it should show. Okay, I'm going to choose all measures. And now I can choose any measure which I want to show. I will go with dynamic filter by measure, this one, rather than number of meetings. And now watch out. So you see in the left side, we selected order value and customer. So it's showing order value per customer. If I change the product, it is going to show now my order value per product. Yeah. Okay. Let me just check why it is not changing here. Why it's fixed as customer. Ideally, it should also change. There's a exclamation sign here. 501 rows. That's fine. Why it's not changing my values? Yes, it's changing, you see. So now I have my unit sold, order value, number of customer meetings, and if I change my dimension, customer status, it should change, guys. It's not changing immediately. There's some bug in SAC. My page is not responding, but you see here we've got this product, retail and wholesale. Depending on this selection change, it should change. Let me also check the linked and edit input control and see if it is. Yeah, they should work for entire page, but maybe I'm gonna reload my page. So you see currently customer status is selected. So it should change based on selection of your dynamic measure input control and um, dimension input control. It should change your table also. So you see products is coming now. If I select product type, you see now it's working. So sometimes it may hang, you know. So you see product type, it's showing mountain and racing bikes. If I choose customer status, my table is changing also. Hand to hand, my table is changing. Yeah, per customer, it's going to show all the customers to you. Clear, everyone? So that's your table over here on the screen. And then you wanted to change the table title. You can always come here and you can add a dynamic table title. I hope so. We should be able to do that. Let me just come here. And right now the table doesn't show also the proper rows and columns. So you can change the table styling. Go to edit mode first of all. And now select the table. Go to its designer panel, styling panel, and always choose template as alternate rows styling. Click on OK. And now you see alternate rows are coming in the table. So this is one of the amazing options to choose from when it comes to table styles. A lot of options are there for table styling here. Yeah. Now, what I wanted to do, I wanted to change this dynamic title. Instead of sales data, I wanted to add a dynamic text. So let's see here, come double click, and I'm going to add a dynamic text. In the panel, I can't overlap my controls actually. If I'm using a responsive layout, I can't overlap my controls. No problem. I'm just going to grab it over here, equal to my table. And for the table, I'm going to hide my table title, subtitle, table details. Yes. So I've hidden everything for the table and I'm going to create my dynamic text here. So this is table for, and now I'm going to add a dynamic text. Watch out. Add dynamic text. Depending on my measure input control and depending on my dimension input control, I'm going to add a dynamic text. Why it's not loading? There's some problem. There's some problem. It's not refreshing. I need to reload my page. So I can always go and show a dynamic title for my table, where my table will actually show me the values depending on what I select on the left side. So let's come back, right click, add a dynamic text, and now it comes up. So I'll say input controls, dynamic filter by measure, new dynamic input control. Click on create and you see order value by customer segment. So now watch out. I come and change to customer status. So watch out this title of the table, customer status, and you see order value by customer status, order value by product. You see it's dynamically changing my title of the table. Yeah, order value by product type. So this is my table control, how I can create a table control. What do they want? They want account with the customer, number of meeting, units sold, and order value with order ID. Okay, so we want order ID. Let's go back. edit my table. I'm going to make it fix order ID at least. And I'm going to say order ID. And next one is my dynamic one. I can also change the order of the columns. So order ID will come first and then the next products are coming and then your measures are coming. This is how they want the table. We exactly did the same with the dynamic text of the table. You can also change the font size here. Just go to its styling panel and you can change 18 and I say Georgia, create a heading 1. Create a Georgia 18 heading 1. Yeah. And now you see how beautiful your table title looks like. So these are all the different styling options which you can choose for any control. Okay, moving next. What else do they want? They want one more this thing. What is this guy now? So this is called R logic. So in machine learning, those who are data scientists, what they can do is they can create R logic. What is R? R is another programming language. R is a programming language which is heavily used in machine learning to calculate mathematical significance. Like if you want to do matrix multiplication, you want to calculate k means, you want to calculate Fibonacci, you want to use the formulas like x square plus y square plus x plus y. All these mathematical formulas, statistics, algebra, trigonometry, everything you can do with the R language. It's mainly used by data scientists to create things. But since we are not data scientists, we will not be able to write our logic. I'll not be able to teach also R because I'm myself not comfortable. But just in case if there is a requirement in your company where there is a data scientist who comes to you and say, I have an R logic, can you run the R logic in your SAP Analytics Cloud Story on the data? You will be able to do that. Now there are two possibilities when it comes to integrating R logic. SAP Analytics Cloud allow you to configure a R server external to SAP Analytics Cloud. Your company already has an R server where R logic is getting executed that can be configured, but not that all. SAP also offers an inbuilt R server with SAP Analytics Cloud. So if you have an R logic given by your data scientist to you, you can directly use it. So in our case, since we are not an expert, I have also added a code here already to just show you testing this. Yeah, so this is another requirement where you wanted to just run an R logic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back. First of all, let's move these things on the right. I'm going to move them a little on the right. And now here I'm going to add an R area. So watch out, click on plus, and you can now add an R visualization. It has come here. And now in this, we have to add a R script. So let's go ahead and add an R script, add script option. And now here in the editor, we can add an R logic. So I'm going to take all of this, copy, and I'm going to paste it. But my data model name is different. What is my data model name? So let me just go and show you. My data model name is sales underscore data. So I'm going to change this data model to sales underscore data. So in this logic, just replace this name of your data model accordingly. Yeah, and you see we have unit sold and we have customer as dimensions, which is good. You can just click on execute and you see it's giving me an error. It's unable to detect my this XLSX because I have to just remove XLSX. I just use my data model name. Click on apply and you see unable to execute our logic. Let me supply input data and I will supply all my measures also. I'm going to send order value to my R logic as an input parameter. I'm going to also add my customer as an input to. So this is important. You have to just send the logic, and sales underscore data is your data source name. So That's important. I'm going to say, okay, this is going as an input to my R logic, and whatever R logic I have written, that is going to sense that input which I'm sending. So make sure that you configure input data to R logic. That data goes to the R script. The R script sends the data and it is going to execute that in an inbuilt R server with SAP Analytics Cloud. Remember, we are not a data scientist, we are the business users, but just in case somebody gives us the data or somebody gives us the R logic, we can integrate that. So you see here, there is an R logic which I've got. I supply my data to R logic, and now I've got this beautiful, what do you call it, as kind of a text chloropath, which is created, or text interlace which is created. Now whichever is bolder, that product is selling the most actually. So depending on the sorry, whichever customer is giving me highest revenue, that customer is being kept as a bolder and bigger. Yeah. So you see, this bike anywhere is a customer which is giving me maximum revenue. This is the guy, and that's why you see it's bolder and bigger in the logic. So that's the logic which we have. Whichever customer giving you the highest revenue, highest sold order value, that customer should come bolder and bigger. The ones which are less order value and lower in volume, they are coming lighter and smaller. Yeah, that's our R logic. So now we are complete with this. The final touch which we need to do is bring in this kind of coloring and styling. So for that, we have to now use styling option. So let's go to the panel on the top, go to styling option, and now here we can choose color. Recently, in the last release of 2005, SAP has also introduced a gradient color formatting, yeah, and image color formatting. Before that, it was just color. So let me add a gradient color, and you see how beautiful my dashboard looks like. Let me give it a little darker color. So we can go and choose a Fury like dark theme, and you see how it looks. Maybe I'm going to use black, and you see how it looks. Yeah, so you can always go and choose gradient formatting. So we don't need to exactly use same formatting what's shown here. We can use any formatting of choice. I'm going to go with this bluish one. Yeah, and now you see some of these numbers, these are looking very darker, and these things are not pretty visible to me. So we have to also change the styling option for them. So we can go back and select this, and we can change here the color of my texts more, and I'm going to grab the white area, and you see the color change to white. Now, what about if I want to apply same white formatting to everything? Do I need to select every single thing one by one to change formatting? Not necessarily. I can go back here to preferences, and in one shot, I can change the foreground color for everything to white. So all my charts, please show the color as, label color as white. So white, all my tables, please show the color as white. All my texts, please show the color as white. All my headers, please show the color as white, because the background is darker, so white will go good with a dark background. All my shapes, all my input controls, white. And I go back to charts, make sure that default text, yeah, everything looks okay. Click on OK, and hopefully this should apply. No, it's not applying everywhere. I'm not sure. Preferences, I think it's going to apply to the controls which are going to get created newly. Okay, page setting, default page properties, background, plain background, show grid, snap grid fixed, go to chart, default text, font size, default tile background, sequential geospatial inter. So you see all these different colors are there, color options are there, which can apply styling centrally to the entire page. And I'll say pages, lanes and tile, all pages, lanes and tile. Say okay, apply. And it's also going to overwrite your current styling which you have done in the system. Okay guys, it has messed up everything. Let me do Control Z if I can. No, that won't help. To go back, preferences, it has made everything white. Okay, now I can go back and change the color. That's good. We can go back and change the background color to gradient and make it darker. Yes, see how beautiful our dashboard looks like. Everyone, are you clear how to change the background color for your dashboard and make your dashboard beautiful? Let's say I just wanted to change this lane color to little gray. So I just select this particular lane, go to styling option for this lane, edit styling, and I can just change for this lane little grayish color. Okay, it's changing for whole thing. 1 second. Why is it doing like that? So I'm just going to come to this lane and only for this lane. I think if you choose gradient, then it is going to apply on whole page. But if you choose the color option, then you can do it per lane actually. Okay. Since I'm choosing gradient color, it's applying for all the entire page. We can't choose then for one lane. But if you want, you can apply for one lane by using just the color option. If you use just the color option, then you can apply it only on that lane. So let me just try now the lane color. And yeah, color to, let's say, going to go gradient only. Yes, now you see it's changing only for that lane, left side lane. And now I can choose black color for, maybe can use color only because gradient is not fitting good in that area. Say color, and I can just choose this color. So you see how my particular lane color is changing. This one looks good. Yeah. Okay, so that is our styling option. Now you saw all the front end color in one shot. I've changed it to white by using preference option. And then one particular lane color, I've changed it to a different color. And then entire page is a gradient fill. Yeah, you can also change a particular control color also. You can come back, go to its designer panel, styling option, and here you can change the background color only for this control. So you see this control only, I'm changing the background color. Yeah, so this way you can do a lot of customizing and a lot of changes when it comes to your styling options, including fonts, coloring, sizing, formatting, everything you can change it. And maybe this guy, I wanted to remove these decimal points, so I can go back to designer panel again, come here, and you see again we get the text formatting options, number formatting options. So I'll show the number formatting options for this as no decimal and scale it to maybe thousands. Yeah, so you see now 14.4 to thousands it's showing. So this is looking good. Now I can save my story and then I can just go into the view mode to see the story and watch out how does it look like. So this is the view mode. No editing is allowed in this view mode. It's executing the R logic also. And you see this is your complete story with the data. Of course, now we can go back and change things here. So suppose I wanted to change it based on per product. So all my charts, all my data points, all my table, and of course, everything will change based on that selection. And now if I select a data point, let's say United States, it is going to update all my values on the top, all my values in the table, and all my values in this chart. So that's linked analysis, which we have learned. And that's how we've got our final dashboard. Now this entire dashboard, I can also make my branding. Suppose all my company in my entire team, everybody will you should use this type of color formatting, number formatting, and exact this kind of look and feel. We can go back and we can save it as a template. So if I can click on save as a template, and I can say Anubhav trainings template. Now, next time if somebody Anne is creating another dashboard for, let's say, another team, let's say purchasing team or HR team, she can reuse this template and she can then quickly start adding controls in the same format with the same styling. So styling will remain fixed. Of course, for HR, the data will change, source will change, but the look and feel will be same because I saved it as a template. Okay, so that's the beauty, you get it. You can also bookmark this current state to the system. So I can say bookmark sales and one. So I can save this. So a bookmark is also saved. So this state, like in a book, you can have a bookmark to directly start your story. Again, once you open the book after, let's say, a couple of days, same thing can function here in SAP Analytics Cloud also, like bookmarking. So you can start your story. It's a save point, the state save point for a particular story. So I hope this is all clear. We have built our entire dashboard. We are not able to give exact look and feel, but at least you can see how I've designed this. All the data files and formats and everything is stored. Now it's your time. While it's good to see trainer showcasing things to you, but it makes sense to also try your hands on yourself. So it's your time to make your knowledge extended and build a dashboard. So these are all the 7 requirements I've added in the advanced page. So you guys have to work over next couple of days and fulfill this advanced page with these requirements. So you need a filter here on category and order ID. You need a date range filter. You see this time it's a range date range filter. Then you need to add a this type of chart. Explore what type of chart is this. I'm not going to tell you. Explore what type of chart is this. By the way, it's a waterfall, but you need to go and explore in the chart options. And then this is a stack chart, and then you have a table at the bottom, and then you have a dynamic text, and also there's a navigation option available. So all these things you need to explore and try to bring it on the table. So this is an exercise, and you see everything I've given here. For each requirement, what is the value, what is the type. You see it was a heat map. So please go ahead and try this exercise yourself. In the next class, I'm going to show you also the solution of this exercise as part of our session at the beginning. And then of course, right now our model is an embedded data model. Going forward, we will create a public model so that all the stories can start using that model. I'm going to do that in our next session. Any questions before we close today's class? Exercise is what you have to try it, and then send me the screenshot once it's done. Send me this screenshot once you are done with your exercise. Okay. Now, if source Excel gets updated, how our story read the data? So in this case right now, it cannot update the data because we don't have a public model. So I will show you an concept of creating public model in next class. This is what we will start with, and I'll show you how do it can also auto update the data. So we will put our sheet in a Google Drive, and I will connect it with the Google Drive, and I'll show you if there is a data change happens, how the source data can automatically get updated in the model. We're gonna see that in the next class. Do we have any page preferences? If we apply story preferences, it applies to all the pages, right? If required to do different pages. No, we don't have any page preference. We only have story preference. It applies to entire story. Can you clarify between panel, lane, and in the dashboard? So if you go back, I had done that yesterday. I think you didn't go and check the PPT. So you see we have a story. Story has pages. Pages has now panels or panes. Yeah. So panels or panes. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. So these are, you can call them panels or you can call them panes. So if you come back to the story, story has pages. So my story is right now, how many pages we have? Come on, guys. In this story, how many pages we have? 2 pages. How many lanes we have, or how many panels we have? One, two, three lanes or three panels. We can call them panels or lane. Both are same things. Okay. So one, two, three. These are called lanes or panels. Both are same things actually. So don't confuse, just a naming convention. Don't confuse. So we have 2 pages, and this page has 3 lanes. Yeah, that's what we all have it at the moment in our story. Clear? So in the next class, we will discuss about creating public model, auto updating data, creating model from manually, point of interest layer, and then we will also discuss about how to use that, and how to complete this exercise. And then we go with advanced modeling techniques like variance, threshold, and stuff like that. Yes, Subrat, go ahead with your question. Subrat, go ahead. Can't hear you. Your line is muted. Yes, go ahead. Ask your question. So what is the difference between story and dashboard? Both are same. So this is a dashboard. You can call it a story. So story is a little technical name, which is analytics cloud perspective. And this dashboard is nothing but what you see. The dashboard is little business user terms. Okay. So yesterday I joined the course in the middle. What is the difference between Lumira and SAC? Both are separate SAP products. SAP Lumira was released in year 2011 or so, I guess, with SAP HANA. So SAP HANA is having a lot of analytical capabilities. It can process data much faster. So SAP Lumira is actually a designer tool similar to SAP Analytics Cloud, but the focus is only to build dashboards, only to do BI functionality on Lumira. Okay, so Lumira also has these maps, charts, and everything, but it's an on-premise software. So point one, it's an on-premise software. Point two, it works only on HANA database. Okay, you can't drive data from different data sources. Your data has to be in HANA, and it works as a on-premise solution. It doesn't work as a cloud solution, but SAP Analytics Cloud is a pure cloud solution. What is a cloud solution? What is a tenant? All this is covered in chapter 1. Please watch the video recording of same. How can we publish story to the business? Very good question. So later on, when we will move on, I will show you the options, how to move this to production system, and then how do you also publish this story to the business user. Okay, we're going to see that as and when we progress. So we also have a lot of collaboration options available. There is also a certification question on that. I'm going to discuss all of that in coming days. Can I run SSE dashboard on a BI launchpad? I'm not sure, but should be possible. I don't have experience on the BI launchpad, but I'm not sure. But what we can do is we have something called SAP Analytics Hub where you can publish these story templates to the end user, where user can go ahead and search all the analytical content present in the company. So that topic is also we will cover in chapter number 14. Okay. I'm not able to sign up SSE, even my company email is getting message to a business email. I'm not sure why you are not able to sign up, but those who wanted to see also the steps of sign up, yesterday night I've released one more video, SAP Analytics Cloud sign up. So you can watch my video which was released just 9 hours ago to see the process of signing up. So please check this video. I put the link in the chat window. You can watch this video to getting started with SAC account, what are all the steps to set up a new account. Okay. If you are not able to sign up with your company email, please contact SAP, because this system is owned by SAP. You need to contact support of SAP. There must be some support or chat option to talk to SAP and get the support on that. Do you have concept of data dictionary in SAC? No, we don't have any data dictionary concept to define data tables and stuff like that. We don't have that. Okay. Can we have an option to share our story to external user outside SAP? Yes, there are multiple ways. Since it's cloud, you can give a link to them. Option one, you can also integrate this with SAP S/4HANA Launchpad, which is what hopefully if I can arrange a system, I will show it to you. Okay, we'll see that. All right, guys, thank you so much. And I'll see you next week. And please focus on exercise. Get me this
Anubhav,
answer. If you're able to develop this, send me the screenshot. Yes, please, Vishal.
this is Gunjan this side. Actually, yeah, I have one question. Like the filters you are designing, okay, can we put some logic on that filter? Like, suppose we have a data set where we want to allow user to select only on last 2 quarters for the current year, but we have the data for entire 2 or 3 years. So is that possible?
Yes, it's possible. So for example, in this date filter which you see, I can go to the date filter, I can edit, and I can say edit input control, and I'll say don't allow user to choose anything except 2020 uh, quarter 3 and 4 and 2 and 1, or let's say 1 and 2. Now watch out.
Yeah, but
It will only allow, so as a end user now and go in view mode, I can only choose Q1 Q2 of 2020. I cannot select as an end user 2019 or anything else. This because this is what is allowed in the control as an end user. Clear? Gunjan, can you hear me?
make the same changes, or can we make it dynamic? Like we'll allow
Ah,
the user to select
hmm.
only the for the last 3 quarters.
Yes, very good question. Very good. So today, suppose I am designing my dashboard by saying 2020 Q1 or my current year. But next year, when this dashboard is available to the user, we are in 2021. So do I need to come and change my dashboard again? Answer is no. What we can do is we can also add here the dynamic input filters with the range type. Watch out how we can add that. So we can go inside, we can say advanced filtering. Sorry, we have an option here to also choose the value range. So let me just check. So we go and you see here this option called current, previous, next. Yeah. So I say current and I can say year. Now,
Yeah,
what will happen next year? This will automatically become 2021 because now you didn't select exact year. Rather, you have selected the current current period you selected. So
current year.
this is automatic and dynamic. It is going to change based on your time. It is like this is time dependency you have set up. Okay, the coloring of this doesn't look good. Let me just quickly go and change the coloring of this guy. So what I'm gonna do is, oh, it's happening. Yeah, just give me a second. I'll just go and change the styling option for this control, edit styling, and let me just change the color. Yeah, looks much better now. So now this one is fixed right now, but the one which I've added with input control option, it's going to be dynamic. So you can always go choose current, previous, next. We also have a concept of range filter. I'm going to show that range filter concept. Let's say current year minus 2 year. So you can do like that also. So what will happen? It's going to show you the data only for whatever current period is minus 2 years or minus 2 months. So as and when the time progresses, it's automatically going to change your filter data at runtime. That's called pure dynamicity with respect to time. So we're going to see that also in the next class. Okay, please focus on exercise, and then let's see how many of you can send me the result. Try it out, guys. Until you get your hands dirty in this now, you will not be able to learn. When I'm showing things, it looks easy, but when you go and try things now, you will realize there are many things which you are missing. We are not able to do it yourself. Then you have to go back, watch my video again, and then you will be able to build the dashboard correctly. And you have to practice again and again at least 5 to 10 times to get some good hand holding. When I started Analytics Cloud 3 years ago, I was not so used to it. And I have to repeat things again and again. And even, some of the features which I'm not using on a daily basis, I'm not so comfortable. Even I get stuck. So until we practice, we don't get that inheritance nature to be able to adapt to the new technology. So you have to practice continuously multiple times to be able to develop it. So you have to build some same story maybe 2 3 times to get perfection in that. Thank you so much once again, and I'll see you next